Yeah.
You are a son of a bitch.
Un saluto a
Hey.
tutti.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to the one and only Vecchia Signora Juventus. All right. So if you aren't subscribed by now, what the hell are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button. And everybody in here now, let's get those likes up to a maximum. It is the final match of the season. Okay. Juventus hosting Monza, another opportunity to see Paulo Montero at the bench. But of course, we know that it is pretty much a done deal, and we are waiting for Thiago Motta to announce and have that signing coming in. But Giuntoli hard at it already. Right, Omer? Oh my God, man. The news has picked up steadily since the announcement that is pretty much imminent that he is joining Juventus. And Giuntoli hard at it, and we're going to cover it all. How you doing, Omer?
I'm great. I'm great. I wish I had Giuntoli's work ethics because the man, I don't know how he does it, but the man works like hell. I mean, he doesn't even have a staff because Mana is out, Cherubini is out, his guys haven't arrived yet. I don't know how he gets all those things done, but since they announced that Allegri is leaving or that Mota is basically it, the man has been working. Renewals, signings, departures, you name it.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the pieces of business, Di Gregorio, and look at Trim saying he should just switch sides at halftime. There you go. One of the pieces that seems imminent as well is Di Gregorio. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the build-up, okay? This rebuild Juventus, the names that are out there, and some of the done pieces of business, all right? And yeah, welcome y'all. We'll say hi to everybody that's kind of in there. Obviously, Trim we saw there. We've got John Grow showing some love to King Omer. King Omer. Huh. All right. All right. We got Norwood coming in here as well. Giuntoli started his actual work finally. Yes, yes. We got Opa in here. We got Adam. Everybody, let's have some fun today, okay, on the final preview show of the season. We're going to start off talking about a couple of pieces of finalized business, and that is Rugani extending, and then, of course, Cambiasso. So Cambiasso to 2029, absolutely a no-brainer there, extending him. Rugani, I've grown to appreciate Rugani. Taking a 30% cut as well on an extension to 2026 with an option to 2027. Omer, your thoughts on these renewals? Kind of, I think they're both actually great and both no-brainers. I would even throw Rugani in there as a no-brainer.
Yeah, both are definitely needed. Cambiasso, I mean, there's no question. One of our standout performers this season deserved it, and we know there was a lot of interest for him from Spain, from England. So yeah, lock him up and keep him in Turin. And Rugani, yeah, the man has proved to be reliable backup. He has no issues with it, as exemplified by him cutting his salary just to stay. He could start for a few clubs in the league, but he chose to stay at Juve, even as a backup, and that's important. You don't find it so easily these days. So yeah, just good renewals, good business, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to talk about another one that comes up as mixed signals for a bit, and that is Danilo. So, Danilo coming up, and we're hearing that, yeah, there are some doubts there about him remaining and him staying on. For me, I don't think now is the time. I understand that 50% of appearances next season see him get that option year as well. But to be honest, I wouldn't give ourselves more work. He's very versatile, and I think that will come in handy. Even if he's not a main on the lineup next season, which I'm absolutely fine with, I still think he'd have an important part to play given injury possibilities or something like that. So I'm for keeping Danilo around, at least at this point. Omer, where are you at on that one?
Definitely, I think he has earned it. Um, He's been the captain through one of the toughest runs we ever had in Juve's history. Finally got to lift the trophy, and I mean, if anyone deserves, to stay just based on the way he acted and tried to keep it all together for the team, for the club, it's Danilo. So yeah, keep him versatile. Our captain, as we speak, might change next season, but I actually hope it doesn't. I like Danilo.
Yeah, and obviously four competitions. So yeah, it just makes sense to keep him around and not move him out right now. And everybody that was combating me on that on Twitter was talking about the center backs and also including Dean Hoyson. Well, we're gonna get to that, but I'm not even looking at him as a center back. I'm looking at him straight up. If we're going four-man back, which is what we're gonna do, I'm looking at him as outside because we are gonna have to bring in some fullback help. Now, we will get to that in a bit, but that's where I'm kind of looking at for Danilo. Now, we get to this rebuild. Okay, so this rebuild that's being named, and then obviously 8 players that apparently he's given the okay. Motta's given the okay to. So there they are. You've got Di Gregorio, Brescianini underneath him, Calafiori, Samardzic, Ederson, who, by the way, what a Europa League final, okay?
Oh, it
From
was a beast.
Ederson was a beast. So
Mhm.
was Coop, though, who's in there. And then, of course, rounding out with Kolpani and then Xerxes. So, two guys that we'll probably see today, Di Gregorio and Kolpani. But out of all of these, okay, we know that now Di Gregorio is pretty much a done deal. And it's 18, a couple in bonuses, rounding out to around 20. Agreement in principle there. And that one set to go down. I like this move. Okay, I really, really like that move. Now, Calafiori, that seems like it's going to be next in line on the chain. Outside of that, that's where it gets interesting. We're not going to bring all these guys in, okay? So there were some thinking, I don't see how we're not going to bring all of them in. Coop Miners would be the next one that we're hearing Juve's intensifying their chase for this player. But do we go a less expensive route? I brought this up on a couple of daily updates ago and said maybe you go Ederson, Samardzic, and Turam for pretty much the same price as Coop. But everything we're getting is that we're going to push for Coop. Omer, I want to get your thoughts on the midfield there because Di Gregorio and Calafiori seem locks. But what do you do there?
Well, first of all, Ederson and Cooper are not the same type of player. I feel like we have a lot of, let's say, Edersons in our team. And maybe not as good, maybe better, everyone with their opinion, but it's not the same position, and we can get them both. Second, Ederson price will reach, I don't know, if not the same as Coop, then close to it after the performances that he's had in Europa League. It's not only the final; it was also phenomenal against Liverpool. I mean, everyone saw it. So there will be a battle for him. Atalanta might keep him. They have the money. They don't need to let everyone go. And so, out of the, let's say, the three that their names have popped up the most, Coop, Ederson, and Samardzic, I know maybe two of them, but my guess would be we get only one. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's Ederson. Most of the rumors came from Skira and everyone were about Coop and sometimes Samardzic. Ederson came from the newspapers. I don't buy it.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Like Coop, while everybody's talking about 60 being too much or whatnot, like what I pretty much said, how I sum it up is Coop is expensive for us right now, but I think that price tag's fair. I actually do think 60. Like there was a point where I was like earlier on the season, I'm like, I don't see him at 60, whatever, but as the season's gone on, you start to see market value on certain guys as well. And if 40 is going to be kind of this number that's attached to guys with high potential, then it makes sense that a guy that's like top 5 in Serie A for midfielders and putting out performances like that in Europa League, etc. I think 60 is a fair price for him, and I do rate Coop. I just think 60 might be too much for us because we have a certain amount of work to do. Do you agree with that? Like, I think 60 is fair price for him, to be honest.
I think it's still a bit overpriced. Like 50 would have been my limit, but yeah, that's mainly the reason because Juve can't afford a player for 60 million and a complete rebuild like they're planning. Once again, it probably won't happen during one summer, and maybe some of these are plans for the future. Maybe January, maybe next transfer window. I mean, Kolpani is out of the question for me, but still, 60 seems a bit much. But if that's the way we choose to go, then fine. It is what it is. I'm not a financial expert. I guess from what it seems, Juntali has a plan. He has a plan how to get all those guys. We still have a lot of, let's say, trading cards in our roster that we can use to lower that price.
Yeah.
Um, but Coop seems like the main candidate right now.
Yeah, and Ederson's value is still like kind of a question mark. We haven't really heard anything other than, like I said, he was linked to us around the winter mercado, and we weren't getting solid numbers or any type of idea of what it could possibly be. If I had to guess, though, well, it's Atalanta, so maybe after that final, it's probably 40 to 50. But realistically, I'd probably expect it to be 30, 35. So again, with Taram going down to 20 to 25 and Samardzic given Udinese and relegation, I mean, you could potentially swing those three for the same, just a little bit around the same cost as Coop Miners, right? And would probably go a longer way. That's the question. Will it go a longer way? But I do rate Coop. It does sound like we're going to push for him. We have to wait and see what happens there. But Di Gregorio, like we're talking about, it's a lock. Okay. So it's pretty much done from everything we're getting. And this guy, well, he just won goalkeeper of the season for Serie A in the awards and whatnot. The interesting thing about the goalkeeping situation, all right, and Di Gregorio coming in, first of all, I've been saying for a while I like Di Gregorio, and this was back going into last season, what he was doing in Monza. We had a show where it was talking about, because we used to get this question all the time about Carnesecchi. And, oh, do you want Carnesecchi, whatever? And I actually brought up Di Gregorio at that time and said, man, like I would probably look this route. He was one of the guys I named because I was watching what he was doing at Monza, and he was ridiculous last season. He was strong again this year. And for us, DiMarzio went he was on a friggin' carousel yesterday with the goalkeeping thing. I don't know what the hell he was doing because he says Shesti's leaving. Perin's going to stay and battle for the number one position with Di Gregorio. And then, like an hour and a half or 2 hours later, he says Perin is leaving. So are they both going and Pizzolio is going to be the backup to Di Gregorio, or like what is going on?
Oh,
So
I wish.
it's we got to see what's going down, man. But Tech makes sense to me to go, but I don't think it's going to go down that way because I believe Perin wants to start somewhere. I think he's going to get offers for teams where he can go in and be the guaranteed starter. I'm not so sure he wants to go through this again and have like a battle for first, because it wasn't even a battle for starting position here at Juve. He ended up just being the glorified backup. And I think there was moments in time where he was battling and could have got that starting role and should have, but didn't. I'm not so sure he's going to do it again. So for me, it's all signs pointing to Perin leaving and Tech staying. What do you think?
I think it's a question of where the offers come from for Perrin. Because I think it was like 1 season ago, 2 seasons ago, he said that he prefers Juve's bench because of the options to play in Champions League and whatever. And so if the offers come from Genoa or someone like that, then he might opt to stay at Juve. But if like an Atalanta come in or someone who does do multiple tournaments, and then he should consider it. The thing with Tech is mainly his salary. His
Yeah,
salary is huge for Juve. I mean, if they manage to get it off the books after securing Di Gregorio, that would be massive. I also think he has a bit of more of a market value
yeah,
if we want to sell him. But yeah, DiMarzio was all over the place yesterday. I have no idea what to make of it and who's on his way out, but it seems like one of them is definitely out.
yeah.
No idea, no idea who.
It was so
Um,
weird to see DiMarzio flip
yeah,
like that within a matter of a couple hours, totally contradicting himself. So we don't actually have no idea, but I am expecting Pettin to go, and I agree with you because I said for me it makes sense, and I would go the route that keeps Pettin in with Di Gregorio and move Tech, but his salary that is going to be difficult for us is going to be a kicker, just like Animesh stayed in here. Who will even buy Tech at his salary? The salary would be one of the
well,
things that we have to kind of try and get sorted. All right, and
one of the options that that popped up in last summer is Saudi Arabia. They have no issues paying him this salary. Whether he wants to go there or not, that's a different question. But there are options out there and clubs who will pay it. So I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. I
yeah,
wouldn't be surprised if both of them leave. And yeah, Pinsolio, why wouldn't Pinsolio get the second goalkeeper spot?
I mean, it just yeah, I mean he could, but I think it's
Good. I know it's a gamble.
he
Um,
I don't know because we've never seen him for more than cameo at the final game of the
yeah,
season. I'm expecting his cameo today again against
I
Monza
hope.
in the final game of the season. But everybody, listen to Tony Trim once in a while. This would be one of the times. Let's get those maximum amount of likes. Everybody, take a second, smash that like button. Okay, final preview show of the season. But yeah, it's yeah, we're looking at this with this goalkeeper situation. I think Tech with his market value and everything, there is something there. The salary makes it difficult, but if you could, I would go that route and try and clean up that salary, the wage bill and whatnot. But Pedine, I think it's a shame, but I do rate him. I do like the guy, and I do think he deserves to start somewhere. And Parma's
Okay,
being the name,
so
uh, Parma's being
if
the
you had to
club
guess,
listed, and I'm cool with that. And I think it would be pretty cool. But he does deserve to be starting somewhere, in my opinion.
if you had to guess, like make a bet now, one of them is definitely out. My money would be on Tech. I don't
My
know
money
why,
would
but
be
I get
on Pedine.
okay.
I don't see Pedine getting into a another battle for starting role and probably going to lose out because Di Gregorio, it sounds like these guys that have approved, Di Gregorio's one of them, and it has a lot to do with how he plays and helping what Mota does from the back out and everything. So it just kind of makes sense. I think it would be another one of these fights that isn't really a fight. And I think Pedine can go somewhere and start. So I'm gonna guess Pedine goes. I'm gonna guess
Okay.
Pedine goes. But we'll see what happens. See what happens. Now, in terms of rumors, rounding out the team, getting out of the goalkeeping scenario, I knew Adam was gonna be all over this, okay? Like a fat kid on a smartie. But the rumors, as he's been talking about it for so long in this chat, okay? Hummels has links to Juve and Milan, the 35-year-old defender, whatnot. Obviously, not the strongest sources and whatnot, but we got to talk about it now that's on here. And I know he'd be all over it. Okay. Hummels. All right. Uh, I'm a no, but Omer, Hummels,
It's tough. Like I wanted that guy for years to come to Juve. I
closer to that
absolutely.
photo that he was wearing the Juve kit. Probably closer to when that photo came out.
Oh yeah. I mean, back when he was managed by Klopp in the early Dortmund days, when they started winning with Klopp, and he was partnered with Subotic, I absolutely loved him. He was a phenomenal defender. I was so bummed out he went to Bayern because I knew he would never get out of there. Um, but now, I don't know, at 35, 36. I mean, he's obviously still good. He led Dortmund right now into the Champions League final, and maybe even for a win. Probably not, but phenomenal player. It's hard for me to see him leave Germany at that age. Like, why would he? If he's an option, a real concrete option, I actually don't know what I want to do because I like that guy so much. But at that age, it's only if someone is out. And he kind of plays the same role as Calafiori, like a ball leading defender. And
Yeah.
it's a tough one because I really want him, but the age and probably the salary that comes along with it wouldn't be in Juve's best interest.
Yeah. It's I've always liked Hummels. I always have, but like I said, I like the guys that we're thinking about in that higher age range for me, like Modric is 38, okay? But that guy can ball. Like we're talking like legit. Like I don't have that faith in Hummels. I just don't. But like Modric, oh fuck. If he was willing to take a supporting role and come in and the wage reflected that role, I'd do it in a heartbeat because the guy's just sick. Cruz retired, and that guy has so much, like his numbers this season, and just watching him, he's got so much football left. 33 there, whatnot, but those are the guys kind of consider. I don't know if I put Hummels on this level that I'd have the faith at 35 to go with. A rotational, a supporting piece, and the wage reflected it, sure. But like Omer said, I don't think that's what it's going to end up being the deal. But if it were, I actually would be open to it if it was on that terms. But again, center back going to be interesting what Juve does. But if Calafiori comes in, I expect him to be partnered there next to Bremer, and that's what we're hearing is that Mota wants Bremer and Calafiori. You know what?
Oh,
Bring
please,
that. Bring that
please.
to me. Bring that to me. Let's make it happen, baby. Okay, let's get in there. Let's get in there.
Mhm.
Let's make it happen. Now, another rumor floating around. I trust me. We know Mercado season is wild, but I don't know if it gets any more wild than a captain leaving his club in the middle of a dynasty. Okay? But
Let's
Di
not forget the time.
Lorenzo getting
Hmm.
linked with a move away. He wants to leave, apparently. A dynasty. In the middle of their dynasty. Did they finish like, are they seventh or eighth? I
It's
don't know.
pretty amazing that Italy got like 8 spots in Europe, and Napoli are still not high enough in the table to make it. That's pretty insane for a
That is
champ.
a dynasty, my friend. We needed
Yeah.
10 places to get these guys into the fucking European play. That's amazing.
Well, I'm not even sure they get in with 10 spots, but let me check it. I have no idea where they are. They are 10th place. I mean, they can still finish outside. No, they can't. They will finish 10th.
So we
Yeah.
got these Di Lorenzo rumors, and they're playing up the fact that he apparently is requesting a leave, and they're touching on the fact that Giuntoli is close with his entourage and everything, and that they might make a move. I heard Milan is also in there whatsoever, but we have to talk about it. And Di Lorenzo coming in. Omer, your thoughts?
Full honesty, I think that's a solid signing. That's a great signing, in my opinion. He's a great right back. He's a leader, part of the Italy national team. The only thing against him is that he plays for Napoli, but he is a good player. We are short on center on fullbacks, especially right backs. I mean that's a great signing for Juve. Putting all emotions aside and how I feel about him. If it's an option and Junteri can manage to pull it off, I think that's it for the defense. We don't need anything else
Yeah. I
besides him
am
and Calafiori.
I'm all for this. I'm all for this. Di Lorenzo, and I get it. A little slight bit a drop, but that whole team had obviously a major drop, whatnot. But I I like this move. He's not flashy. He's not a flashy name. He never has been. But at that one point, like he was up there for and playing in form of being considered one of the best right backs out there in Europe last season, whatnot. And you don't just necessarily friggin' lose that or fall flat on your face. If you watch him this season, you watch Napoli this season, there's been many, many issues with that team. But for him, he's no nonsense. He's not flashy. He does contribute offensively. Defensively, though, stout. And I would be all for it. But the biggest kicker on this move is the fact that he's captain and would be leaving Napoli and coming to Juventus if we made this move. Oh my goodness. The jokes, the banter, it just writes itself, everybody. So Di Lorenzo,
Mhm.
I would like that, and that would help
Yeah.
us out a lot
Well,
because
another kicker would be the Euros. I doubt it will happen before that. Let's see how he performs in the Euros. If he wants out, then he will leave. Um, but let's see where he stands now under Spalletti, the coach who made him one of the best right backs in Europe. And if you can utilize him, then yeah, it's definitely a Napoli problem. Also, what's better than signing their captain? I mean, you just said it. Even if he sits on the bench all season just to annoy them, it will be fun.
yeah, yeah, and like I said, I mean, it's all rumors. We'll see what happens, but that one hypothetically, yeah, I'd have no problems with it. Dom saying a lot of fantasy football going. Welcome to the mercado, my friend. It
Oh, it's
hasn't
gonna
even
get a lot
opened
worse.
yet. It's
Yeah.
just the beginning. It's gonna get a hell of a lot worse, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love the hypotheticals. You guys all know that, all right? Guys, drop a like. Let's go, everybody. And Oliver coming in here finally made the live. Forza Man City today. Makes no difference to me, but that's cool. That's cool for you. All right. Thank you very much for the super chat again, everybody. Super chat is enabled. One of the way to support us. Check out the merch store. A bunch of new designs in there. Free shipping, I believe, is still on. I think today is the last day. But I think there's another promo coming up next week that's going to be like starting Monday. Yeah, Monday that's going to be big. So I think free shipping until tomorrow, and then Monday we got even another one. All right, so always showing love to you guys. And tomorrow is the post match show, but it's going to be the year end show, and we're going to have a lot of fun on that one. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that you're here for that one. We are going to wrap up before we get into Monza and Juventus and storm the barn and everything. We got to get into the Azzurri call ups. Fagioli getting in there. Getting in there. We have Cambiaso. Has to be in there. Has to be in there. Locatelli getting schnupped. Follow fucking run show. Okay? Ricci had a good season, but come on. Seriously? Cristante, I think, is a blockhead, and he sucks. In my personal opinion, I will never deny Locatelli's form at Juventus, but we saw consistently every time he played for the Azzurri, it was better, miles better than what he was going on at Juventus. I think I think he should have been there over those names personally. However, I see the other side of it. Sometimes you want the form, but follow run show and form? No, no. This is a weird one, but I get it. I get it. I have no problem with the call-ups, but I do think overall, in general, man, I think Italy's roster, he's going to have to whip something up. Going back to Di Lorenzo and how he does at Euros, well, if we're switching to that three-man setup and we're going to play that way at the Euros, I don't truly put Di Lorenzo out as like a wing back. Like I'd have him as a fullback and a four, but I think in a wingback role he looked kind of weird the one time I saw him do it. But he might get used as one of those three CBs on the right side. So it's gonna be interesting to see Di Lorenzo in that fold. But what do you think about the call ups and what do you think about Luca getting the snub there, Omer?
First of all, I have no idea what Spalletti is planning based on the players he called up. I don't know if he's going to play three at the back, three in the middle, two in the middle. I'm actually out of answers for that. Loca, I mean, poor guy. It was good for the Azzurri back in March when we had like an
Yeah,
international break. It makes me think that it's something personal between him and Spalletti. I don't know. Maybe something went down, some argument, some attitude that Spalletti didn't like. I have no idea. Because besides that, that decision is weird as hell. Like you said, for Rancho and Riccio, what? Who are those guys? Why are they ahead of him? I get that he had a bad 2024, but he was solid in the beginning of the season, and he's still a lot better than those guys. More
yeah,
experienced. I mean, he's one of the guys that won the Euros. He was there and he was good at the Euros. I believe it's something personal between him because I mean, he needed 20 minutes of Fagioli against Genoa to call against Bologna to call him up after he hasn't played for 9 months, and the three options are Cristante, Florancio, and Riccio. Fuck that! No way! It's because Locatelli's form has to be something else.
yeah. It's a weird one. I was having like I was thinking like maybe this is Spalletti, giving him a wake up call, whatever, and then eventually gonna find his way in that squad or whatever. But I think even that is just strange and bizarre because you have Fagioli who hasn't played all year, that just gets plugged in immediately. So there's something going on there. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird even if you don't rate Locatelli. It's weird. That's
Yeah,
bottom line. It's fucked up. But okay, he's not gonna get hurt and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Next season is make or break for him. Also, Fede Chiesa, hey, let's go. Plays into our hands. Got a new coach, new system coming in here. Mota and helping Locatelli. Do you think it's going to be a big, or do you think we're going to see a Locatelli redemption season next year with Mota, Omer?
I guess we would. Based on reports and how Mota is planning to play. One of the recent ones was Fagioli is going to drop back and Locatelli move to Mezzala. Some are saying double pivot. Whatever. I don't think it's Fagioli and his abilities. I think it was Allegri and the way he used him and the way Juve played. That CDM role became just basically another CB. That's what the role amounted to. So I really hope so. I really hope so because I do think he's a good player. I think he will have a good season. Um, but if he doesn't, then yeah, maybe we would drop the ball on this one. Not every signing. Well, we
Yeah,
know how not every signing is a good one, and maybe Locatelli was the good one, but I'm not ready to give up on him yet.
yeah. And Animesh agreeing with me. It's make or break next season where you make the call. I personally believe. I think we'll see. I think we'll see several players just play completely different. I think Locatelli will. Um, I think he'll get his bearings about him, and I still have faith in Locatelli. And I might die on this hill. It's okay. It is what it is. They don't always work out. Mistakes happen. People get
Hmm.
things wrong. We're all human, but I believe in him. I actually believe in him. You can't go to a national side and seem completely different. Yes, it has to do with the other guys he's sharing the midfield with. That plays a part in it too. The other players, their caliber compared to what you're seeing at club and how many opportunities you get, the freedom from the back that you can to move forward, your coach, what he wants you to do in the role that you're playing, all of this plays a part. And it just hasn't been right at Juve this season. Defensively, nobody could say a word about Locatelli defensively. Defensively, he does his job and then some. Okay. But that balance is not there. That balance is not there at Juventus, and he lost quite a bit in terms of offensive prowess to when he came here. And it's not that his stats were lights out when he came to us, but it's the key passes. It's the vision. It's that confidence. That's all faded.
Oh,
And
it's
he
definitely a tactical reason more than him being worse than we thought he is. Still a lot of room for improvement, but the tactics didn't do him any benefits attacking
Yeah,
wise.
I'm ready for the reins to kind of come off. I think we'll see somebody completely. And again, not the last time he was with the Azzurri, the second to last time he was with the Azzurri, he absolutely lit it up in terms of key passes and what he's. And everybody was like, "Holy shit!" Even his haters, they were like, "Wow!" Like that's what he
And
can do. But you have to like it just has to work. And he has to bring it too. He's got to find a way to be that guy. And he says it all the time, but it just wasn't translating for Juventus.
look,
I still
my
believe, though. Still believe.
my opinion, based on what we hear from the players at Bologna who are playing under Mota, and it seems contradictory to Allegri, because Allegri is stubborn and he wants his guy to play like that, and doesn't seem like the dude who's open to listen to players and what they prefer. But the way the guys talk about Moda, it seems like he really is interacting with the players all the time and ask them questions and what they prefer. So maybe that's what Loca needs. Someone to
Yeah.
ask him where does he feel more comfortable, and I hope Mota is the guy. It seems like it. And he was the most defensive guy out of a very defensive midfield. Not a lot of wiggle room. We talked about we want to see him paired up with other attacking midfielders, and then we can judge him, more
Yeah.
easily.
Now, Dusan Vlahovic winning best striker of the season. All right. So congrats going out to Dusan. And he has been part of this Malta deal in stating that, yeah, all signs are pointing to the club wanting him to stay, Malta wanting him to stay, and Vlahovic definitely wanting to stay. I've highlighted him because we should talk about because it is going to be completely different and interesting to see how Vlahovic can adapt to what Malta does. And mainly if you look at how Xerxes was used. And this is where I kind of think about Vlahovic and how he's going to work in terms of the build-up and how that Xerxes drops back very deep, essentially creating another player in the middle almost. It gives freedom to the guys playing on the wing because they get a lot for Bologna and whatnot. But then he's going to find a way. I still think he's going to get a lot of his chances, but his hold up play, all that has, it's been great when he's on, but it's been a challenge for this season. He's worked on it tremendously. And I actually think that's going to be the biggest thing to look out for when Mota comes is Dusan Vlahovic and how he adapts to this. I think he still has a little bit of work to go. I have faith in him. I'm not worried about it, but it's going to be an interesting piece of the puzzle to look at when he comes in. Omer?
What's interesting for me is I don't know if Mota changed Xerxes' role because that's what he had. He's not a number nine, and him and Dushan are not the same type of player. Last season he had Arnautovic, so it was a bit different. Who is a number nine and more similar to Dushan. I don't think Dushan can do what Xerxes did because Xerxes is a dribbler. He's much more silky in his movement. And he's a better passer. Dushan is a number nine. I don't think he can do what Xerxes does. But that will be a challenge for someone else. Will have to do it, and that would be the question from me to Mota. What can you do with Vlahovic when he can do what Xerxes did for you at Bologna? I hope
Yeah.
he can get something out of it. It could be this. It could be Xerxes himself who comes in and does the same role with a striker up top.
Yeah.
We'll have to see, but I don't think Dushan can do exactly what Xerxes did for Bologna.
Yeah. And I see John, best striker Dushan got. He did not get MVP. He's saying he didn't deserve this award. Lautaro should get. That is Dushan won best striker. Best striker.
I agree actually. Dushan had spells like he's been good for like 2 months where he scored all those goals and then disappeared for another 2 months. Completely unbiased. Yeah, Lautaro was there from August till
Yeah.
early April.
The they just don't like giving it to two. That's why. Like they don't like
Exactly. Yeah.
giving one player two. So obviously, in the in context, yes.
Hmm.
Obviously, Lautaro would take best striker and MVP. But if you're gonna split up the awards, yeah, Dushan would probably take best striker. And I still think there's an argument there with somebody else over Dushan, even if the stats aren't there. But there's an argument there. But Lautaro will take MVP,
Okay.
and
So
rightfully
what?
so.
So how would you rate a striker? I think that when you make that choice out of everyone, striker is easier. If you're the Capocanniniere, then you're 90% guaranteed that trophy. Your
Yeah,
striker
because
needs to score
Lautaro's
goals.
clear. He's finished with like 24 goals. Dushan's second at 16. I think Osimhen ended
Yeah.
up finishing 15th. And same thing. All those guys, though, below Lautaro were all streaky. Streaky as hell.
Yeah.
Like, Osimhen had a slump in there, too. And he had an injury and stuff. And then he had AFCON, I think. Um, but Giroud had a strong season, but again, there's lapses in there. Goodmanson, 14 there, but he's kind of listed as mid there. Taram at 13. Xerxes dropped off after being right there for a while, but he had 11 goals.
I also
Vlahovic, I
think,
think this is the big thing with Vlahovic winning this award. He is responsible for how much of Juve's offense. The
yeah, like
percentage is
why was
staggering. It's
hmm
staggering. If that guy wasn't there for Juve, I wouldn't even like to think about how many goals. I don't even think we hit 50 goals this season. Did we? Maybe the last game got us over
Yeah,
50,
we had
52.
three. I think it was
52
52. Yeah,
goals,
that's the
okay?
number.
He's got 16 of them on his own. I mean, it's that's crazy. It's crazy. So for me, that plays a big part of it too. So I think
They also don't like the obvious choice. They always do that. Who was best defender? Who won best defender? I mean, even best goalkeeper, Di Gregorio, that's impressive, but still Zomer had the best defensive stats out of everyone, most clean sheets. You can pick any of them. I think for striker, it becomes a lot easier. It's mainly the number of goals you scored.
yeah.
The rest doesn't matter that much. But they don't like going with the obvious
Well,
choice.
and that's the thing with Di Gregorio. I mean, to me that makes sense because he faced way more than Sommer did. Sommer got
Yeah.
the accolades and the clean sheets and all this, but as far as work done, he wasn't even close. Wasn't even close to Di Gregorio. Well, I'm saying this no numbers, but I'm saying from watching the games, Di Gregorio, Jesus man, yeah, guy
Great
more
goalkeeper.
balls flying at him than freaking Mia Khalifa. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. Now we're gonna get to Juve and
Say that.
Monza. Okay, the final game of the season, and now the final game of the season. We're gonna have some fun, you guys. We gotta wrap things up. You know, I'm gonna get some shots in there, and Mia catching some strays is not the first time she's gonna catch strays. It ain't the last time. So we're gonna keep it rolling here. This last game, there's not a whole bunch to get in here. Okay, what are we talking about here? Monza. This is more Juventus finishing up, giving us a positive, giving us a victory, okay? And we had a crazy comeback in the last game. Yes, Malta might have helped us out with some interesting substitutions, but let's go out on the season and let's win, okay? Let's get a nice positive finish, a victory. We're going to see a hell of a lot of change in this lineup, and it's a good opportunity to do so at home, okay? We have a few things at play for storylines in this. We're going to have Allegri's going to get a salute from the fans, okay? He's going to get something from the curva, and rightfully so. Alexandro, it's his farewell. I understand the feelings around Alexandro. Nobody needs to tell me of all people, about the feelings around Sandro. I've been extremely vocal for years on us moving on from him. However, I don't take it out on him, the decisions made by management. His overextended stay is because of management, not because of him. So it is what it is. I don't have any ill will towards the guy. he's expected to start. He will tie Pavel Nedved, and it is what it is. As far as the farewell and everything, he deserves it because he gave his all. Whether his all had dropped off and not been to a level that we all wanted to hold a standard to, that's on management. But the guy played, never bitched, never complained, never said a thing, and just went about his business. If it wasn't to the level we wanted, that's fine. But he was a soldier nonetheless, and I think he deserves a farewell. Thoughts on Sandro there, Omer?
Well, I'll start by saying he does deserve a farewell. He's been with the club for a long time. I think we all get, sentimental when it comes to these departures because we want them out for so long, and when we finally know that they're not going to stay, then we start remembering all the good that they did. It was the same with Bonucci, with Kedira, with Pjanic, whoever. When we want them out, we want them out. When they do leave, we miss, the good times they gave us, and it's completely natural. So he does deserve it. It wasn't an issue. It was never an issue, just in the locker room, like you said, a soldier. He deserves a farewell now that we know that it's an official farewell. And yeah, why not? He should play. This game has zero meaning. Bologna lost yesterday, so even a draw, I think, gets us above them. It doesn't. It wouldn't matter where we play in the Champions League anyway, or in the what's it called, Pot B. So yeah, play whoever didn't get any minutes. Start Rugani, start Sandro. Give these guys a nice farewell.
Yeah.
And I do remember that he solved a problem that we had for a long time because before him it was a Samoa in a 3-5-2. He wasn't a left back. He was great when we played 3-5-2, but as a wing back, he was better than he was at fullback. Then Evra came at near the end of his career. Before that, Peluso, Grigera, whoever, and Sandro was finally a signing that fit the bill. And for like 3 seasons, it was great. It was exactly what we needed. He had tons of offers. He refused them all. And so, yeah, let's remember the good times and give him the farewell that he deserves for those times.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you to him. And yes, it's time to move on. All right. But that is one of the storylines. Again, Allegri set to get a nice gesture from the fans for Monza, 12th in the league table. Okay. Coming into this game on the back of 2 consecutive defeats, they are winless in their last 6 league matchups. They're going to be without a number of players due to injuries and suspension. Okay, so this is a good opportunity for Juventus, like I said, to finish up and give us that victory. Okay, 4-2-3-1 expected for Monza, Di Gregorio, Birindelli, Mari Izzo, Kyriakopoulos, Gagliardini, Bondo, Colpani, Pessina, Motta, and Juric for them. For Juventus, healthy rotation. A lot of the mainstays out of the lineup, and I'm absolutely fine with it. Fagioli set to get the nod in the midfield. The probable lineup is as follows. Perin to finish up. Expect Pinsolio to come in at some point, okay? Danilo, Rugani, Sandro, Weah, Fagioli, Alcaraz, Illing, Chiesa, Milik, Yildiz. Wow. That's a big shakeup from what we've gotten, and who knows what to expect in terms of how these guys are going to play together. But whatever, we're going to have some fun. It's the final game of the season. We'll see what happens. But your thoughts on that mix there, Omer?
I have no issue. Like I said, meaningless game. Yeah, I'm all for letting some of the guys who didn't get a chance to start and play a lot. Yeah, they should play. We'll note that Cambiaso is suspended due to yellow cards, so he's not an option. As Kostic has been benched for a few games now. Maybe I'll get some minutes, although I doubt it. Vlahovic on the bench too. I mean, it means nothing this game, so I'll just watch it to have fun. But if Pinsorio doesn't get any minutes, I'll be mad.
Yeah. And, I do it all the time, but I'm going to just keep it consistent because the Chihuahuas got to know. Do me a favor, FFF. On that stupid little profile pic you got, punch in 18+1. Tell me what it is, okay? Oh God, even with a calculator, you guys can't fucking count. Depressing, depressing. 38 Scudetti, 15 Coppa Italias, 38. You guys, you're not gonna live long enough to ever see it. It's never gonna get caught. So if it's depressing, how depressing is it that you guys are always gonna be on your knees getting teabagged by our nutsacks, baby? Day, another day. But hey, like the video. Now, let's get to the predictions for the final match of the season. Omer, like I said, this is going to be a tough read with all these players. How the hell are we going to do this? Try and gauge the chemistry. We haven't had chemistry even with our mainstays. So to see this, it's either going to be fun to watch and very, very nice, some fluidity and whatnot, or it could be an absolute complete mess. What do you think we're going to get? What is your prediction for the final score?
I think Monza are going to do the same. I think the Palladino will let some of the guys who haven't played a lot play too. So there might be some early substitutions. I have no idea what's going to happen. I've never seen this lineup play together. It's a 3-4-3, which we haven't seen since Fiorentina last season, and it hasn't worked well. I don't know. It's just a complete guess. Let's go with 2-1 Juve.
All right. All right. I don't see a clean sheet happening. I just think there's way too much going on in the lineup. I would love to see a clean sheet. Monza's not exactly, a force by any means or anything,
No, they
but
kind of fell off than last season. They're doing worse.
yeah. Di Gregorio, help us out or put in a typical Superman performance at the other
No,
end
no,
like we're used to seeing from anybody.
don't help us out.
Yeah, he's gonna be a Superman like we expect from we've seen it from guys we've never even heard of before play Juve and all of a sudden it's insanity. But I actually think Juve gets through this one. The fact that Yildiz and Chiesa are out there together is pretty sweet. That's gonna be fun
And
to
I
watch.
and I think the spirits are high, like at Juve. I think everyone is sort of excited, and most of the players know what's going to happen with them. Either they're leaving or staying, except for a few. And but it feels like the change has affected the team. I hope they just come out to have fun. Again, it's meaningless if we win or not. So to
Yeah.
enjoy ourselves, and the win will come
Some
if we
are
play well.
saying that this is going to be like a 4-3-3, but I think it's got 3-4-2-1 written all over it. But the fact that Chiesa and Yildiz are out there, I think that is going to be great for us to see. Something we've called about for so long. What are we even talking about here? Let's see it. It's time. It's time to see it. So let's get it going. And I think they should be giving problems to Monza's backline. And actually, now that I think about it and I look at it, I am going to call the clean sheet. I'm going to say 2-0. Juve goes out with a clean sheet and gets a 2-0 victory. Okay, so Omar's got 2-1. I'm going 2-0. And
And I feel like the negative guy.
what do we got for tiebreakers? What do we got for tiebreakers?
I think okay. My guess is someone who hasn't scored this season will get his first goal.
Okay.
And so my bet would be on Juve getting a penalty, and Sandro gets to shoot it.
Oh my God, that's a wild one. PK
It ha-
Sandro to take.
if it happened with Barzali, if you remember, final match of 2011-12, we got a penalty and they let Barzali take it because he was the only one who hasn't scored. So
Yeah.
yeah, that would be nice.
Tony, the vibe shift is palpable. I could feel it through my crystals. All right. All right there,
I
roast
get it.
beef.
I
That's
get it.
great. So 2-0. I am going to say that I'm going to say Yildiz gets on the score sheet today. Okay? 2-0 Yildiz. And I'm going to say that the other will go to Milik. And I think we do get two in the
Okay.
first half. I don't think we probably get anything in the second half. I love to be surprised and we get more goals than two, but I'm going to say
I want to
both
see
goals first
Montero
half.
happy again. I want to see Montero celebrating again.
I got to see some more Montero sellies there.
Yeah,
It's been pretty cool. It's been pretty cool, and
yeah.
we'll see how it goes. Illing gonna score today. There you go. And we got a bunch of predictions coming in earlier. Um, we got Forza USA 1-1. Di Gregorio keeps the game from being a bloodbath, and Yildiz scores. Vedad 4-0. Fagioli scores. Ryan has 3-1 to us. 3-1 from Koshik as well. 3-1 from Adam. And then you've got Adam Kanf with 4-2. All right, all right. Some big ones there. Big ones there. Okay. We'll see what goes down. But it is time for Storm the Barn. All right. So we'll see what all of you have. And again, reminder, like the video. Let's get those likes up. All right. 82 of you in here. Let's get 82 likes. Come on. Take a second. Smash that. We got more predictions coming in. 3-1, Vlahovic, Chiesa, Alcaraz, Fagioli with a yellow card in the 25th minute. All right. Dragoons 8-3-1. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, let's get into it. And the best part about Storm the Barn, everybody, it's literally all up to you guys. It could be football. It could be Juve. It could be life. It could be whatever. Storm the Barn, it can get pretty wild. Let's see. Swati, what do you think will be Italy's starting lineup at the Euros? Chiesa, Calafiori, Pastoni, Barella. What do I think the starting lineup? Well, I think those are all going to be... I don't know if... I'm not sure what he's going to do at the back. So Calafiori right now, I don't know. Bastoni, Barella, and Chiesa will all be starters. I would expect Jorginho to be starter next to Barella. It does sound like he's going to play two mids, and Pellegrini will kind of be like this offensive minded mid, slightly ahead. I think you're going to see DiMarco obviously outside left. Up top, Scamacca came on big time. Big time, but Retegui was scoring goals every time for the Azzurri. That's going to be an interesting one there. I don't know who he's going to side with immediately, and that's an interesting discussion there too. But yeah, like Jorginho, Barella locks, Chiesa lock, Pellegrini a lock, striker, you got to make a decision there. On the outsides, like I said, on the right side, Bellanova, I would probably go that route over Di Lorenzo in that wing back role if he goes 3-4-3, right? It's interesting. It's interesting, but Di Lorenzo, I think, is probably going to be looking at playing as one of the third CBs, and I would expect him on one side, Bastoni on another, and then you're probably going to get that big blockhead right in the middle. But what do you think, Omer?
I like 90% agree with what you said. Again, I have no idea what he's planning,
Yeah,
mainly at the back. Um, unpopular opinion, maybe I would play Vicario ahead of Donnarumma. Don't know if anyone agrees. Like you said, Barella and Jorginho, Pellegrini feels like a lock. Scamacca should definitely be the number 9. He had an amazing 2024.
yeah.
Chiesa, who else do we have? I mean, besides that, the wingers are not that attractive. I would play Orsolini right now. Orsolini, Scamacca, Chiesa. Back line, if it's 4 at the back, I think Bastoni is a guarantee. But that kind of eliminates Calafiori because they play the same role. Um, I actually have no idea who it's going to be. Not Scalvini. I hope Villanova at right back. I don't know. It's interesting. I think the team is not that strong, to be honest. He could have called some better players, in my opinion, but still, I'm not an expert, so
Yeah. Going
whatever has
back to
got
the
people.
Orsolini thing, my only thing is you gotta have, like, for me, Pellegrini has to be in there. He's got to be on the pitch there for the Azzurri. especially in the form he's been since De Rossi has come back. Like I'd be looking to make sure he gets on there. But I do understand Orsolini wasn't even going to get selected for Christ's sake, and I was like, that would be wild to not take him. So I'm glad
Yeah, but then
he's on there.
El Sharawi or Raspadori didn't have a great season. Retegui is a striker. Zakani
That's why
plays
I'm
the
thinking
same
like
role as
Pellegrini
Chiesa.
comes in and you work this route, but this is the big kicker with Chiesa, and that's why Spalletti even alluded to it, is that he's got to figure it out, and it can't just be one way and that's it for him. Because for me, I took that as a hint. He wants to go 3-4-1-2, and he does want that third midfielder to be advanced, and I think that's going to be Pellegrini. It's gonna. I don't know what he's gonna do, but he's got his work cut out for him. It's gonna be tricky. The roster's not the best. Let's be honest, not the best. So
No,
see,
not that flashy.
Adam, who will be our captain next year? Uh I think it's
If
gonna
Danilo
end up.
doesn't leave, yeah, I think it's Danilo. I don't
I
think
think
he'll
it's
leave.
still gonna remain Danilo, and
Hmm.
I'm fine with that. Let's say for shits and giggles, Tech and Danilo both leave. So who do you want to be the captain then?
Based on what we saw, Dushan.
Yeah.
That,
All right. I'm cool with
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
cool with
I
that.
don't see anyone else who can do it. I don't think even Chiesa would be a good captain, but I don't know. We'll wait and see because up until now we lived by Allegri's rules, which were the seniority issue,
Yeah.
and so I have no idea what they're planning.
Yeah. Am I the only one excited? Chiellini coming home, and do we know what role he's gonna play? Um,
Okay, so we're
and then
super excited about it. I'm super
I'm
excited.
pumped. Come on, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
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 actually what we asked
Giorgione, man.
for. We asked it for it in the last pod that we need someone there to be more direct and involved with the players and not just Loris sitting at the top. So
Yeah,
maybe that's the kind of role, but he does have like a master's degree in economics. Um, I think it'll be something to do with the players.
he's gonna start very, very bare bones, and that's already been reported. Like he's gonna be very, very bare bones, and then work his way up. So we'll see what happens. But how can you not be excited for Giorgione coming back? And we talk about it, culture and having guys involved that have been there, that have been soldiers, that have been warriors, that can really paint the picture and help you know, replenish the culture around the club for the players and everything. Perfect guy to do so, Giorgione. So yeah, real quick one here. My daughter plays today at the same time, so I will be having the game playing just right here, listening to it. I'll have it on the screen as well. Somewhere on the sideline there as I enjoy her session. Okay, so no watch along today, but the year end show tomorrow. Okay, year end show tomorrow. That's going to be a big live, same standard time. Okay, now we keep it rolling. Forza you, and like I said, Storm the Barn goes everywhere. Worst experience at a restaurant. Okay. Omer, what's your worst experience at a restaurant?
I had some bad ones because I managed a restaurant. I was the manager for quite a while. One of the worst ones was I was so close to getting into a fight with one of the customers after he made two of my waitresses cry.
Oh,
Um, yeah, and got really heated up. And his wife eventually stopped it because she knew that he was going to get pummeled because he was alone. I had my entire team there, bartenders, whatever, and they were all already angry. And so, yeah, that was a bad one. As a customer, I just had some real bad mayo one time, and I was hooked to the toilet for like a week afterwards.
okay. What what cuisine, Adam's asking, for this restaurant you managed? What
Oh, it
cuisine?
was all over, but mainly it was meat. like burgers, steaks. I
Oh
mean, I
yeah,
was a nightclub manager, and the
like a
nightclub
chop
during,
house. All right. Yeah.
yeah, was
Cool.
more like a Denny's.
Yeah. Now let's go. Let's go. So mine actually, one of the worst ones I've got is really recent. It sucked. We showed up to that tournament I was playing in a month ago. We had to travel 4 hours to whatever, get there, and we're all having a good time, having some drinks at the hotel and whatnot. And then we decide we're gonna go across the street to this pub we always go to on the first night, have a bite to eat, and I sit down, and literally everything I ordered didn't show up. Not a single thing I ordered showed up, okay? Like my appy didn't show up. My meal didn't show up. My drinks didn't show up. Okay? I was taking beer from the pitcher that they had on this table next to me from my buddies because I'm like, finally I look at her and I'm like, hey, I go, where's anything that was ordered for me? And she's like, oh yeah, no, it's like, I was like, don't give me any lines. Everybody else is on their meals, has gotten all their drinks. I was like, it just hasn't happened. I go, I'm done. I said, don't even worry about me. I'll just have this beer and I'll dive into some of these chicken wings that are on the table. But it was brutal. Not a single thing I ordered. I've never seen anything like it. Unbelievable. You would have thought I was wearing an interkit there, for fuck's sakes. Treating me like absolute shit. But whatever, nonetheless. Now, that was the worst experience I had. All right. Now, favorite Sandro memory. Well,
There are a few, but
probably the
the
15
cross.
16 year, man.
I would say the cross to Ronaldo, and for that all-time header, because it
Yeah.
was such a Sandro thing. All in all, it was a very bad cross. It's just amazing that Ronaldo somehow managed to get to it, because probably no other player gets to it and had it in goal. But still, he had two assists that game. One was for Dybala for a volley, and the other was for Ronaldo. And yeah, that goal is memorable, and Sandro is a part of it. And so yeah, that's mine.
I think just that one season for me, like I don't even need a moment out of it. He was just like unbelievable. And I'm 90, was it 16 17 or 15 16? 15 16 17, I think. Unbelievable. Unbelievable fullback.
Yeah,
And
15, 16, it was still trading spots with Evra, and Evra was like more of the main guy.
yeah, so
Sandro was the
16
newcomer.
17 was the year. It was 16
Yeah,
17. Yeah.
yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable Sandro that season. So yeah, it would just be that year for me for Sandro was ridiculous. But I wish it could have been like that a lot longer. No doubt. But is what it is. Is what
The
it is.
Sarri season was the one who, sort of killed him. He was left alone covering for Ronaldo on the left. We sold Spinazzola and Cancelo in the summer and didn't bring anyone in. Like, it was so bad that the season after we needed to have Frabota as his replacement. And that season kind of, ruined him. He wasn't up for it playing the entire season as the only left back.
Yeah. That was yeah, we always thought like, man, they just gassing them this this season, whatever. So it is what it is. It's done. How close are we honestly to securing Calafiori? Well, it sounds like we're right there. Sounds like his last interview too. That sounds
Yeah.
like a goodbye.
Yeah, he said, "I'll miss everything about Bologna, the city, the fans, the clubs, Mota." That's that's the quote. So it sounds like he's definitely leaving. All the reports about him wanting Juve and Juve are working on it came from all the most credible reporters out there. So it seems like a done deal at that
Yeah,
point. And so yeah, that's how reliable it is.
yeah. I I think that's happening. I think that's the next one on the domino. And we heard it was going to be Di Gregorio and it was going to be Calafiori. Those were going to be the first two pieces of business that get wrapped up. So there you go. There you go. Adam, tell us a secret. Well, if we do that, it's no longer a secret. But tell us a secret. You got a secret?
I got millions of secrets, but a secret. Um, I don't know. You gotta direct me to some general secret,
I'll
like
tell you
something
guys a
more
secret.
specific.
You guys want a secret? I'll tell you.
Hmm.
I own kits outside of Juventus. Okay? Obviously Azzurri kits, but I own other kits. And I actually own an Inter kit. Believe it? Believe it or not, I own an Inter kit.
With a name,
No.
that's worse.
It's strictly we had issues through COVID of toilet paper and people were hoarding stuff. All right. So I had to jump on anything I could find. And there was a flea market and they had an Inter kit. And I thought, what better scenario if you were to run out of toilet paper to get an Inter kit? All right. And actually, the truth is, I don't own a fucking Inter kit. I would never get a fucking Inter kit. No chance in hell. No chance in hell. Any player, there is no player on earth that would have me buy a fucking representation of the biggest scumbags I've ever seen on the face of the earth. Fucking no way in hell. All right? No way in hell. But I do own kits outside of Juventus. I own a Battistuta Fiorentina old school kit, and I own a Maldini, who is a Juventino, by the way. I own a Maldini kit from his Milan days and whatnot, and I do own a Totti Roma kit and whatnot. And these are just collect part of like a kit collection. I have never worn. I've actually never worn one of their kits, but that's a little secret. That'll do.
Okay, I have. I'm not a big kit collector like you. I do like collecting kits of other clubs as well, more national teams than clubs. But the latest one I got like 2 weeks ago, a friend sent it to me. Actually, he sent it to me from Turin. Um, was a is a Grimsby kit. If anyone watched Brothers Grimsby, that's one of my favorite movies. So he gave me the option. I said, "Yeah, do it now. Get me a Grimsby kit." So I have one which I got like 2 weeks ago.
There you go. Grimsby kit. All right. And Yorio saying I own kits outside Serie A for Serie A, only Juve. I'm trying to think outside of Serie A. Actually, probably only Giovinco's Toronto FC kit. That's the only kit
Oh,
I own outside of Serie A. Now that I
so
think
I
about it.
I have a Dortmund kit with Marco Reus. I have a Bayern
Nice.
kit with Schweinsteiger, which
Oh,
is
yeah, that's cool.
that was interesting because they called me. My parents called me when they were traveling, and they were at an Adidas store. So they told me you can go. It was when Juve was with Nike. So they told me you have Chelsea, Real Madrid, or Bayern. Just choose whoever you want and choose a name. So as far as I knew, the names go by money per letter. So I told him to ask. I was planning to ask for Lam. But then they told me, no, it's all the same price. It is, get me Schweinsteiger on the back. So I have a Schweinsteiger kit, Thorsten Frings in a Germany kit from 2006 World Cup, and a few others. Totti
Yeah.
in Italy.
There you go. There you go. And no Bernardeschi Toronto kit. No. But man, that hairstyle the other day, holy Christ. But he scored a hat trick with it. Unbelievable. Man comes out looking like Sean Paul and fucking scores a hattie. Unreal. Unreal. How many goals has Sandro scored for Juve? Do we have any guesses? Without Googling or anything, any guesses on how many goals he scored for Juventus?
I think it stands on like 9 or 10. I remember very few. I don't know the number. That's a guess based on what I remember. I
Around
think it's
nine,
like
you're
9 or 10, but I can check it. Let me check it
Well, I
while
got it.
everyone gets. Okay,
I
go ahead.
got it. But and we're gonna go with just for Juventus. Um, yeah,
Maybe it's
not by
more. Maybe it's
competition.
12.
So what do we got? 12 from Forza Juve. We got 13, 14 Iorio. And
Yeah, that sounds about right.
any more guesses before I fire that? Actually, pretty good. Nobody. I'll say this. Nobody's hit it 100. Adam. Jesus Christ. You measure everything in hundreds, but come on. Goals? Let's go. 15 goals for Sandro.
Yeah. Okay.
326 appearances, 15 goals, 32 assists. Okay. 56 yellow cards, one double yellow into a red, and one straight red. Those are his Juventus numbers. Today's set to reach 327. Tie Pavel Nedved. I'm fine with him equalizing. I did have a problem with him taking the overall lead, though. But I'm fine with him equalizing. All right. So there we go. 32 assists, 15 goals. Thoughts on Company being linked to Bayern? Is it linked or is it done?
It seems like it's done. We had the Here We Go today from Fabrizio Romano. And I mean, he was just demoted to the Premiership and then got the Bayern job. All in all, my takeaway from it is I think the big clubs are kind of tired of the carousel of the same managers moving from club to club, and the same names that keeps popping up every time. Some of them are without a job, and I think most clubs will go with a new direction. Younger coaches, someone that have been trying. I mean, Arne Slot going to Liverpool,
I'll tell
Company
you
to
right now,
Bayern, Mota Juve.
it seems fucked up to me. It really, really does. I mean, with the amount of coaches right now and a good selection that's out there right now, it's weird. It's like Milan all of a sudden with all these names out, everybody that's about landing on fucking Fonseca for Christ's sake. And great, good on them. I couldn't be happier for you guys, but like it's wild to me. At that point, I would just remain with Pioli if it was going to be for Fonseca. But that's just me. It's weird to me. It's weird to me. Kane to remain trophyless. Hey, some curses are legit, everybody. Some curses are legit. I don't know,
Poor
man. The
guy
company one
deserves a
is just
trophy.
fucking weird to me, man. But whatever. We'll see
But
what happens. I
well,
am going to be
it can be
picking my
interesting.
buddy's
I mean,
brain, who's a big Bayern fan, to see what he thinks. I'll have to reach out to him and see. But it's weird to me. It's weird to me. Like if I was a Bayern Munich fan, I wouldn't be like necessarily excited for a guy that just got demoted and whatnot. So it's weird. It's weird. Now,
yeah,
oh, favorite Scudetto. Oh, the dad.
it
Shit.
has to be Cinque di Mayo,
Cinque Maggio? Yeah.
Maggio. Yeah,
That's
and
a big one. Huge one. One of my favorites for sure. 11-12 was fucking up there.
yeah,
That
but the season as a whole, we had a lot of draws. I mean, it wasn't secured till the later stages, like 3 matches to the end, which consequently made it better. Uh, but probably my favorite would be 14-15.
yeah.
That team was insane.
Yeah, that team was crazy.
Yeah,
Out of the decade of dominance, I'd probably say 11-12 still for me. That from what you come from, and like you're saying, it was completely unexpected to do so undefeated. Fucking crazy. That was a
yeah,
crazy, crazy one. 2011-12 is up there for me. Cinque Maggio was just fantastic. And again, the Chihuahuas with the massive inferiority complex, having to deal with that and take the ultimate fucking day. I loved it. Loved it.
With
Those two are probably
I
up there for me personally as my favorite. And of course, the 11-12 had the element of Del Piero's final season with Juventus. So,
Yeah, there were a lot of things going on there, and maybe the season afterwards, when we got to 102 points, broke the record, and that can also be up there. I don't know. It's hard to choose. There's been so many. Where's FFF? There's been so many. It's not like choosing for Inter. What's your favorite Scudetto?
yeah, 2011-12 season the best. 15-16 with the comeback, the massive comeback. That was crazy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Unreal there. 2000 good, but 11 is the best after everything you go through. Yeah. Um, First Lippy one was out of the blue too. Beating the Milan side was a great start to his tenure. Yeah, there's so many great ones, and we're gonna have great ones upcoming
38 great ones.
as well. Yeah, we got 38 great ones, and I'm sure more to add. No more Storm the Barns. We've got caught up. I just want to see if Omer has anything to fire out here before.
Um, Not a question, just an observation that I started with it. I don't know how Junteri does it, but now Juve seems like they have a plan just based on last week. In the past week, we've seen a lot of names linked, things starting to move. It's all coming from Nicolas Kira and everyone, and Chiellini coming back. The staff that Junteri wants to work with him are coming back. Cherubini out, Mana out, maybe Rabiot, Sandro. It feels like Juve has a plan for the future right now, and it excites me. It excites me. We haven't seen that in a long time. We haven't. Remember when we used to hear the sentence, we'll see market opportunities and we'll evaluate? No more of that shit. No more freebies just because they don't cost any money. It has to be logical. And right now, it seems like you are aiming for the right names, and not only on the field, but also in management. And so, yeah, I'm super excited for the new
I
season.
I've been pretty vocal about not liking the attacks on Giuntoli, especially through this Allegri thing. I've been very vocal about why I never felt it was fair to him because he's coming in and he's asked to do a job. And he's been asked to do a job cleaning up an absolute fucking shit show that was previous. And that doesn't happen overnight, whatnot. And when takeovers like this happen, and I can attest to it from my own professional career, I've been on both sides of it as an employee and as part of the management team, it can get ugly. It got a little ugly with Allegri, but a lot of it was his own doing. And at the end of the day, you've got a guy that's just asked to do a job, and at some point, you do got to get a little ruthless. Nobody had any problem whatsoever with what he did with Bonucci. And Max had no problem with what he was doing with Bonucci. Then all of a sudden, the focus shifted to him, and the results were not up to par. And then he didn't like it. Well, tough titties. Tough titties, pal. It is what it is. Giuntoli is asked to do a job, and a very difficult one at that, and one that is under a microscope with major, major scrutiny from everyone involved. Media, the club, and fans. He so far has backed whatever he's had to and making moves that have to be done. Saying goodbyes, cleaning up a wage bill that got out of control. Completely out of control. Okay? And now all these moves that we're making, they seem to be legit. They're good players. You just got the best goalkeeper in Serie A. You just got the guy voted best goalkeeper in Serie A. Has been one of the best shot stoppers over like 3 years running. 2 years for sure. At less than 20 million. It goes to 20 with bonuses. You're about to lock in Calafiori, who is going to be a mainstay for the Azzurri side for a long time coming. You're maybe going to lock in on one of the top 5 midfielders in Serie A and Coop Miners. Okay. And some guys are going to have to be sacrificed, though. And that's why it's not all going to, like, he's going to take some hits too, because I think Hoyson is going to go. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sule goes too. We all know what Anthony said. Anthony sees both of them being sold. One is going for sure. And I have a feeling the way things are shaping up, we're better off in the back line than we are up top. And I think it might shift to Hoyson. Although we know what we're hearing with Sule next week, it's meeting time and there's still this distance there. But Juntali is taking heat that he shouldn't be, in my personal opinion. Personal things and the way things shape up between guys at the club, it doesn't matter. That will go down the way it's going to go down. It always falls back to what is best for the club. A change was best for the club and best for Max Allegri. It went down the way it went down, but ultimately it doesn't matter because it's all about the club. I have no problems with Juntali. I'm excited for Juntali, what he's going to bring, and look at the way he's working immediately. I'm pumped. I am pumped. We needed this reset as a fan base more than anything. But I know that there's going to be guys out there and gals that will wait and probably are chomping at the bit to hit out at Malta at some point, hit out at Juntali at some point. For me, that's wrong. And that's bullshit.
Yeah, we gotta remember that Marotta also had some signings that were awful. I mean, you don't nail each one of them. And someone needed to, just to make the decision. It seems like no one had the guts to fire Allegri, to get rid of Bonucci, to not extend Sandro, to everything was backwards. And we're not even, we didn't even finish the season, and he knows that he has to sign some of those players before the Euros, or the competition will be much greater. And he is working. I have no idea. He doesn't have a staff yet. Maybe they are working while they're still at other clubs, but still, it's pretty amazing. And yeah, the Peacocks are back, and I'm excited. Yeah, super excited for the new season.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped. And Tony Rosebeef saying Berto is CEO of a tech giant. I guess this could have gone in for Adam's question about the secrets, because that's one of the secrets probably is I've only ever been let go from one job, and that was it. I was manager there. This was a massive company, a billion-dollar company here, and I was second to who became the vice president. That was essentially it. And I was part of the takeover. And it was like, hey, these people need to go, everything like that. And I was like, well, no, let's just wait and see. Like, why give ourselves work that doesn't have to be done? And ultimately, some people needed to be cut. And holy Christ, that was something else. I remember a guy flipping out at me. I think I told you the story, Omer. So you had guys in service trucks, and then when you let a guy go, it's like you have to literally do an inventory count with that person, so to make sure all the property is in the truck that needs to be in the truck. That was a fucking nightmare. However, as things kept going with the takeover, they wanted certain people relieved of their duties. I didn't believe in relieving set people of their duties. And then that's where I was seen as not part of the team anymore. And I started to see the writings were on the wall, and I could kind of relate to Allegri in that sense. But it went on for a while, and I still stood firm. And I was like, I'm not getting rid of people if I don't believe they need to be. And ultimately, the vice president just saw that I wasn't a yes man, and that's what ended up happening. So that's how I ultimately was let go. It was stemming from that, and I knew the writing was on the wall. I didn't care. I didn't care. I went in there day in, day out, and I wanted to make sure that I could be happy about the decisions I made and what I did. And I had to believe in them. And if I didn't, I wouldn't do them. And I wouldn't do them just because I was told to. And I knew it would probably lead to that and get me fired, whatever. But there was no chance I was going to fire people if they didn't deserve to be. And what the kicker about that whole thing and how ugly management can be is that those people didn't know. They didn't know that I fought that fight for them. And they kind of like bought into what was being fed to them from this guy above me and everything. And ultimately, he got them to turn on me. And it's fine. It is what it is. But I never gave in. I never gave way, and I didn't cause a big stir or whatever. And I just did my thing. And on the final day, when he's like, "Oh, we need to talk with her," I was like, "No, it's all good." Because I knew it was coming, and I just dropped everything on the desk, the phone. I was like, "Here, take the computer." I was like, "It's all good." I was like, "It's all good," because he made a slip up, and I knew it was coming, and I could have had their nuts in a vice as a company, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Just walked away. Fuck them. They. And out the door I went, and found a landing spot like within 20 minutes. Because just connections, and was sought after, and there was people trying to get me while I was at that job. So it is what it is. And I will not disclose what company it was, Adam. Not here anyways, because that could be very, very bad. But management's ugly. That's why I kind of feel for these guys in these positions, especially during the takeover. For Juntali, I see a side, and I get Max's side. I've been there. But you gotta...
You're always the bad guy. When you're
Oh,
management, you're always the bad guy.
always. Always. And like I say, the
Hmm.
things that go down behind closed doors that nobody, even the people that are a part of that company or set club, like, you have no idea. And then all of a sudden, like, all this stuff that we're hearing about Juntali and Max that was going on, no chance. Like, I'm not buying into like everybody being privy to it and the team completely falling off and everything. I think there was like a power struggle. I think Max was expecting this Sir Alex treatment, whatever, after last year, and I think he didn't get it. And they obviously didn't get it because another guy was hired and brought in, and it wasn't his decision. And I think from that moment on, there was a chip there. I think he had belief from the start of the year that they could keep him going, and that they could work something together. But I think as time went on and his results were kind of questionable and then got bad, whatever, I don't think it stemmed from that. I think it was just happening on its own, and then it got ugly between them because Max was getting no reassurances. That's life. But from a management standpoint, that's why I always said I believed 100% in what Juntali did, because when there's objectives on the table, why on earth would you tell Max what your plan was? It would make no sense and would be asinine from a management standpoint. There's no way, you know? No
Yeah,
way.
fully agree.
Berto would never fire someone for having a few too many Molsons while working on spreadsheets. Working on the
How else?
spreadsheets at
How
home
else
with
do
some
you do
Molsons? Sure.
spreadsheets?
Not in the office. Not in the office. You know, Pino saying, been there, brother. I was lucky enough to start working in my passion. Now I'm happy and enjoying that, but we got to stand up for what we believe in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Never give in to who you are as a person for anyone or any position. Like, it just, no. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. And on that note, let's see if Juve can give us this positive today against Monza. Finish up with a victory. Jesus Christ, like, we got to get a win here. And excuse me on that last part, okay? But let's get a win. Let's get a win here, okay? Let's beat Monza. Let's come back tomorrow. We're trying to get as much as the cast as possible. Obviously, you all saw the vote. That's only one part. That's only one portion of the competition, was the vote on favorite cast member. We go into tomorrow. On the post-match year-end show. There is a bet that was laid. We're going to settle that one. All right. And I think there's a couple bets going on. Predictions, we'll take a look at some of the predictions. Yes, it's going to be at the same time, and we're going to have a ton of fun. You guys drop a like on your way out. Omer, always an absolute pleasure. Enjoy the match, my friend. I'm sure we will see you tomorrow. It's year end, season end
Mm.
time, everybody. Okay, enjoy the
I've got
match today.
nothing. I've got nothing going, so I'll be here.
There you go. There you go. We got the year end tomorrow. Enjoy the match, everybody. I'm going to enjoy my daughter's match as well as Juve's match, and we will reconvene tomorrow with a lot of fun. And we will see who wins that Cambiaso kit from the cast, and the winning cast member gets to choose somebody on that live in the audience to win something as well. So hey, we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun and finish the season off with a bang, all right? We'll see you tomorrow. As always, fino alla fine, forza Juventus, it's amici di nessuno, and te to all the Chihuahuas. Ciao tutti. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.